Hello, I'm Deanna McCrery. We're in Fort Collins, Colorado. I've been a member of the Junior League for 20 plus years, and this year volunteered to be a mentor for our Able Women program. So through that program, we're paired with women through the Larimer County workforce. It's a 6-month commitment, and I'm at a time in my life where I knew I could commit to it. I haven't really had a chance to do that before, and I've always known that I wanted to do it when I had time. So you work with the women for 6 months, 2 hours a week. Most of them are in some transitional part of their life, either going back to school, finding a job, something. A lot of them are young mothers. When I look back, I know that the women I've gravitated to have been, probably 15 to 20 years older than me, but women who I really admired, either on a career level or their leadership. And I find it so powerful what women can do when they pay attention in their community to women that they admire. Either somebody who's a good speaker or somebody who does a lot of volunteer work, or somebody in your job community that you admire. So I know I've been mentored by women, and they probably don't even know that they've mentored me. And I have had women since then say, you've helped mentor me. And it's interesting because I think that age thing, I think there's really a lot to say about that 10 to 15 year where it's maybe not quite as old as your mother, but somebody who has experiences and wisdom that you really want to glean. And it's we're just paired with one, and she's in her mid-30s, going through a divorce, and it's an amicable divorce. But I really see myself as a sounding board, because when we sit down and I say, "How did things go this week?" It's always interesting. Every week it's kind of different what she talks about, either the kids or the divorce, or she is going to school, about finding a job. But it's really nice to be somebody who's there, and my role is not to give advice, it's not to make judgments, it's just to sit there and listen. And I can tell if she wants me to respond and give her a direction, and then I'm more than happy to. But it's a nice role for me just to listen to somebody. For one thing, I think it always gives you perspective in your life, because no matter what I was handling that day or the week, it's nothing compared to what this young woman is handling, and she's doing it very well. It's one of those relationships where I know I'll get as much out of it, if not more, at the end than she will. Listening, I'm a real estate agent, and we always hear, that's a good skill to have. And you always think you have that until you're in a relationship where really your only role is to listen. And you realize how much you don't listen when you are in a role that you can listen. And people they'll bring forth a lot of stuff if you just kind of sit back and don't always feel like you have to interject an answer or your opinion or your response. So probably listening. And there's certainly some things that she does that I go, ooh, I don't know about that. But they're not things that I necessarily need to tell her. I wouldn't do it that way. If it was important for her success in her program, I would say it. But that non-judgmental listening role, I think, is good for all of us. Always trying to get out of judgment. That's a big hurdle for a lot of us, I think. There was a time where organizations were probably more popular, and I see us kind of falling away from that, but we need that connection. And as people start to work more from home, they start to work more on computers, and there's a lot of isolation. And there's a ton of organizations out there. It doesn't have to be the Junior League or the Rotary or Kiwanis, but just join something, and you'll meet incredible people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. One of the first things I ever said, oh my God, I can't believe this, I applied for Leadership Fort Collins, and a lot of communities have a leadership program through their Chamber of Commerce. It's primarily career and work related. So you put in an application. Here I think they picked 50 women, or 50 men and women, and I got accepted. And I was not working at the time. I got accepted on the basis of my volunteer skills and my community work. And it really made you realize communities do value, if you want to call them full-time volunteers. And through that and those connections, I went on and, I'm a realtor now, and every step along the way has been a step I made because of some volunteer work I did. And I can truly say I didn't do the volunteer work to get anything out of it, but anybody you talk to in volunteer work will say they had opportunities they never would have had. They met people they wouldn't have met. I think prosperity comes your way because of what you can do in the community. And no matter how much you give away, more comes back to you. So then you feel even more obligated. And that's why I've stayed in Junior League. I just feel like I owe them for the skills and the opportunity they've given me.